I'm Tony, and I'm only part of table tennis club, and I act as the club captain.
My name's Alex Mascari, and I am in table tennis and was the social officer, so looking on social media for table tennis. I jumped in and out of sport, no matter what it was, just kind of going and trying different things. And then when I got to uni, it was just the same thing, but just trying different clubs and things and seeing what you like. I'm kind of like an all-rounder. I don't really focus on one sort of sport. But table tennis, I was on placement, and I used to like table tennis a lot. We used to play on every lunch break. So then we came back here, and I was saying to a couple of my friends back at work, I was like, oh, there's a table tennis club. Let's go for this.
I'd always liked doing sports, but I'd never joined the club until I did my masters, and conveniently I met Alex and a couple other people, and we all did, turns out, the same cause. Meeting new people, that was a big thing for me because I hadn't joined a club or anything like that for undergrad. So I just said this year I was going to make it an effort to at least join one club and then meet some new people, things like that. And I think it turned out for the better because I ended up going on holiday with a couple of friends from the club. So
for me, actually, it wasn't even the year that the club started. It was, I think, the year before. And then I was actually looking for clubs, and I was like, I wish there was a table tennis club. And I was thinking, like, what happens to these clubs? And then we went to the sports fair or something. Yeah. And there was someone there with a table tennis bat. And I was like, no way, you're starting table tennis up again. And then I don't think I ever saw the person who it was with the table tennis bat ever again. And then, long story short, message on the Instagram saying what's happening with table tennis. And then we got called to a meeting in this room. The club needs to be revived, basically. And I went with my friend Shalal, who, when we both in the end joined the committee for it. And we were both a bit like, because I always said I was never going to join committee for like anything, because I felt like obviously you know, you're going through it now. Uni is stressful as it is doing all this. Yeah. So I was thinking I don't want the added commitment really, but it's hard to know how much commitment there is until you actually go in and do it. And it worked out in the end. I think overall it's however much you put into it is how much you get out of it, but how much the club progresses depends on how much effort you put in. While having the degree going on the side, and that was tough, you can still manage to put in enough effort to keep the club alive and also grow it a little bit.
Not only there was 4 of us in the committee, there was enough people to have a fair share and do certain things and different things. But it was also like we sort of gelled well together. Yeah. It wasn't a matter of someone didn't do their role or whatever it was.
It was quite chill as well.
Yeah.
All of us just like clicked and got on, and it proves it. After that first meeting we had, I think there was a table in here just like this, and the meeting finished and all of us were still a bit like starstruck, like, oh, we're on committee now. All of us just gravitated to the table and just started playing, because that's the thing with table tennis in particular. It's like, if there's a table, if people play, you just start playing the game and stuff. But then it's quite easy to start up, and also like, I mean, the social side of it, on my perspective, I've done a bit of like the graphic design in the past, but also Sham, that's what his degree is kind of in, design. So getting all the social media up and running was we had the skills in the back pocket to kind of get that going already.
Especially for us, because we didn't have to worry about the box side and the competing side of things. It was a lot more straightforward on what our goal was to, like, obviously get it running, get people in.
We ran our first taste and we got a lot of people turn up. Maybe, I think we counted probably 20 or something. I put some leaflets around to like all the student accommodations, thinking obviously you have a table there, you can put it next to the table, and if anyone's playing table tennis and it's there, obviously they might be interested. So we went to like maybe 10, 15 different accommodations and put posters up there.
After the first semester, or towards the end, everyone got to know each other, and we were more getting into table tennis. Yeah. And then that sort of led on to trying to get into bucks. No. Obviously, because we had to restart the club again, we weren't eligible to compete into bucks. So I think that's something that we sort of drilled into the next committee members, that if you want to do bucks, definitely go straight ahead into it. And even if you don't have the players now, at least you have that ability to be able to go and compete and play, because it does, especially for the newer members as well. When we were playing and having the friendlies, they were very much like into it and excited about the competitive nature of competing. commitment, definitely, towards trying to achieve the same goal for us. I think that was a big thing.
Yeah.
Communication, even though it wasn't too hard for us, because like I said earlier, I think everyone was committed to doing it. I think that would have been a very key role and part of why we did
Yeah.
well, I think.
But even communication, not just within our team, within like talking to the people, because lots of the times we'd have 20, 25 people or whatever. We don't know any of them in the hall. 5 tables out. You've got, again, anyone who likes table tennis, you've got 5 tables out. People just go mayhem. Everyone goes crazy. Like, let's just get the bat. Let's go. So we had to just be like, hold on, everyone, just stop for a second. The plan is A, B, and C. Here's what we're going to be doing. We had a meeting with us lot, and we said, right, how are we going to do this? How should we put it forward? So I think we just put a poll on the group chat. Here's the role, who's interested, just really informal. Just because I think if you make a big deal out of it, then they'll think it's a bigger deal than it is. So if you just try to be really chill, like, yeah, here's the roles, if anyone's interested, yeah, put your name on it. And then within the first 2 or 3 days, I think, we had 3 roles filled. And then we're just asking around, saying to whoever, are you sure you want to do this role maybe, or do you want to swap roles?
I think, yeah, we also somewhat reiterated the fact that obviously if the club didn't continue, then they'd have to restart everything again.
True.
No bucks. So I think we sort of pushed that on them so that they knew, don't want to do that again, basically.
People wouldn't really ask about committee for next year. People would say, when are you running this and this for next year and stuff? I'm going to say, what if there's no committee? It won't be on next year. And then they're like, oh, damn, okay. So then it kind of gives them a bit of a reality check. Like, okay, this is a kind of serious thing, really.
Just making sure you communicate with each other. So whether it's like a good thing or a bad thing, just make sure that you just tell each other what it is that's on your mind or whatever about maybe doing an event or something like that. Whatever small or big thing it is, just make sure that everyone gets a say.
I say, just off of that as well, I think there's two main things. Like, I think the start, or like the first semester, essentially, like around September time, is very, very important. And for example, say you need to now start bringing people into the club, it's easy to say, that's the so-and-so's job, that's the social media person's job, and then you've got, I don't know, like someone in welfare or admin, they can just sit idle and just say, it's not my job, I can just sit here and wait for the documents to come in, I'll deal with that later. But the thing is, you have to be flexible within the team, and you need to help out, because not all the roles have an even amount of workload, I would say, so you need to be flexible that way. I think that's the first thing. And then the second thing is, I think it's just being flexible. Just again, being flexible with what you can offer to the team. For example, I was in charge of the socials and things, so you would have thought that means I made the logo. But I didn't make the logo. The person in admin, Sham, he made it. So you can be flexible in that way. It depends on how much effort you want to put into how alive the club is. If you make it your life to now put all of your energy into the club, and assuming the rest of your team on committee also does that, then the club can come back alive really quickly. I think the barrier to entry, the barrier to keep the club alive, isn't as much as you think it would be.
As soon as you sort of get the wheels rolling with a dormant club, then you can sort of not put your hands off the wheel, but like let it go slower, but it will still carry on and have a momentum. But it's just making sure that you do that first initial step, just want to do that. And if it's something you enjoy as well, like if it's a sport for us, everyone enjoys table tennis, like wants us anyways. So we were naturally just easier going to be able to want to pick it up and revive it.
I mean, the main motivating factor for me was, if you're not going to revive the club, you're relying on someone else doing it and possibly no one doing it, so the club won't exist. Therefore, you have no club to go to. So you have to weigh up the pros and cons. Do you like the sport enough to have it exist most of the time? Yeah, you want to go to this club, so you might as well be on committee for it.